Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we have episode 10 of our Beginner to 2K guide, and we're going to be playing against a big moose for this episode. He is from Australia and he's got around 1850 with 900 games played, so it's definitely a very solid opponent. I know I promised to do rec analysis episodes every 10th or every 5th episode. However, I've just been enjoying the live game commentary a little bit more, so I'll probably stick with that for a little while, although I might do some rec analysis in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Also, for those guys who want to see some more DE action, some more DE gameplays, I'm probably going to hold off until the actual game is released, so until the 14th of November, before really picking up with some DE content, where I try to, climb the ladder and also, upload some of the games to YouTube. I also have that series coming up when DE, fully, kickstarts, and after the 2K series, where I do a how to play X civ, where I, talk about a certain civ, give a civ overview, and then hop into a ranked game with that civ just to talk about how the theory matches up with the practice. So that's definitely exciting. A lot of things coming up in the future with DE and that new series. But for now, let's stick with the Beginner to 2K guide and let's hop right into the video. Alright, so we're going to be playing as Big Moose for this one. He waited very patiently. Let's take a look, have fun. Good stuff. He was an awesome sport about me taking my time, because I messed up this intro quite a few times, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, let's hop into this one. I have no specific plans for this episode, although getting Vietnamese right off the bat might make for, a how to play with a weaker civ episode. Because Vietnamese, as some of you may or may not know, is probably one of the worst civs in the game, at least for 1v1 Arabia. They have no eco bonus as well as no real military bonus, so they are very, very tough. The one thing that we do have with Vietnamese, though, is that we see our opponent's town center, so that's going to be really good. We don't have to worry about running into that TC. And we also don't have to worry about scouting my opponent too early, because I know exactly where he is and can scout him at any time. Alright, so just doing my standard sheep scouting, build. Nothing too crazy here. My opponent is going to be the Vikings. Oh, so this is very interesting. So I'm playing against a very good civ. The Vikings are arguably like top 5 on Arabia 1v1s in my opinion. And, well, definitely a very solid civ versus Vietnamese, one of the weaker ones. Let's take wood on the front. I have a few wood options. I have this one, this one, this one, and this one. The back option I'll probably take a bit later, but I like to take the front option first. So if you have, let me explain this for a second. So if you have two options for woodline, one in the back and one on the front, I would actually take the front one first, because if he comes forward with the tower, like in Feudal Age, since I'm taking this first in Dark Age, I would have taken a little bit more of the woodline on the front, and then I'd transition to the one in the back, and I'd have more of this one left because I went to it a bit later, if that makes sense. So it's a small thing, but definitely something to keep in mind if you ever put in this position, because the tower here can deny my wood. So let's take the most out of this wood while he cannot, tower it. Alright, so let's take this first boar on the front. I'm missing, I think, one more boar. Yeah, I'm missing one boar. I found all my sheep though. Good stuff. I did a really poor job passing my sheep, by the way. Definitely keep an eye out on that. And let's do my boar is here, so I can go scout my opponents here. And I'm going to start setting up my walls in front of my berries. At this point, I also want to take a quick look at my map. Notice I went 3 onto wood for now. I should probably add a 4th one. I just want to get my boar in a little bit earlier. I'm going to go for the 4th one right now. And I'm probably going to open for the men-at-arms. So Vietnamese, they could do scouts. But against Vikings, I recommend going for men-at-arms. So if you have a bit of a weaker civ, I recommend just going for men-at-arms, because it actually allows you to do early game damage, whereas scouts are a little bit easier to defend against. Men-at-arms come in a little bit earlier, and it's a little bit easier to do some good damage. I'm noticing he has 4 on wood, so it looks like he's probably going to do men-at-arms as well. And one thing to keep in mind here, I've got 3 gold on kind of like the front of my base, or on the side of my base, very exposed. So if he comes forward, or in the mid game, I might have to keep an eye on that. He also has a forward gold though, and so that's something I could exploit. I'm just gathering some information on both maps. Could lame that boar if I wanted to, but obviously I will not. And let's pick up the next boar now. I talked a little bit about boar timings in one of my episodes. Basically the idea is, you tend to feel it the more games you play, but you want to bring in, okay, let's X this. Actually, let's kill it. Sometimes I like to let them survive, but let's kill it. Alright, so I tried to kill a scout there. I didn't want to, kill his scout because I wanted to have a fair chance in scouting me. But obviously, if your opponent runs into your TC, then you just kill his scout for sure. Let's get my next house in the shape of a wall as well. Alright, good stuff. Alright, so as I was saying, so I want to just gather information on the maps right now. Notice how I'm scouting my opponent very thoroughly. I'm doing multiple loops. I'm checking where all his resources are, because that's going to really help me out in the Feudal Age. You see my barracks in the front, protecting my main gold. Always do that. And then right now I'm just going, going along the regular men-at-arm build here. One thing I will consider though, I am Vietnamese, so I might actually transition into skirmishers after I do my men-at-arms, because I'm pretty sure he's gonna go men-at-arms. Let's check his gold now. Let's check his front of the base. Need to use the scouting tips, exactly. Yes. Exactly. So let's go out the front of his base and look for his barracks now. Thought I'll make my mining camp. There it is. His barracks are coming down almost the same time as my barracks, so it's most likely going to be men-at-arms from him as well. And these guys are running out. Let's go ahead and do double sheep there. And yeah, I just got confirmed. He tried to wall me in, but I'm too quick. Luckily got out of that. All right, let's click up here. Good stuff. So pretty much perfect timing here with the build. And yeah, 2 on gold, taking some sheep. I'm gonna go ahead and make my second lumber camp, but not right away. It's very important that you gather a little bit more food now before sending them off to wood, or else I will not actually be able to afford the men-at-arms. So let's gather a little bit more food, and now I'll slowly send them to wood. So only a couple at a time. And I'm gonna take them at my backwood. Yeah, I'm gonna take my backwood just to not get double towered on the front and lose access to all my wood. So this will be my safe lumber camp. And I'll start sending more and more bills over to that one as well. I will need a house, so let's go ahead and get a house on the front. I can't tell if this is walled or not, but with this house it will for sure be walled. And now my scout is kind of offside, so what I should do is bring my scout back. I'm going to open men-at-arms. I should have my scout back with me as well. If you're ever deciding between 3 and 4 men-at-arms, I recommend if you have a good civ eco bonus, it's fine to go with 4. But if your civ is a bit weaker like Vietnamese, I think just 3 is fine. Go at 3 men-at-arms. 4 tends to be a little bit much. Alright, he's already moving out with his men-at-arms, so let's go ahead and regroup with my scout and men-at-arms. And let's find a way to get a good engagement in Feudal Age. I'm also going to see a few farms as my sheep runs out. Alright, so I'm in Feudal Age first. Let's go ahead and chase the scouts and get men-at-arms upgrades. So this is all very standard so far. If he's still in Feudal Age, I can force the fight here. Sorry, in Dark Age. He just got Feudal Age. I'm a little bit faster though, so I can force the fight if I really want to. I also have more scout HP. Alright, so right now how I'm doing this, I'm keeping my men-at-arms on control 2 and my scouts on control 1. Both units are on stand ground, so they will not move if I don't move them. If I stop moving them, they won't attack anyone. They'll stand their ground. So I have really good control over my military units. Control 2 for the militia, control 1 with my scouts. That's why I'm keeping them moving so often, and my opponent can never find a good moment to actually attack. On the back of this, I have to decide, do I go for skirmishers or do I continue going for archers? If I scout that he's doing a range, since I know that Vikings have a stronger economy, I don't want to do the same thing they're doing, because then I'm not going to really, I'm just kind of playing into their strength. I'm playing into their economy bonus. If we do the same thing, he's going to have more economy to back it up. So I have to do something different. And different in this case can just be one range skirmishers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure he's going to go archers, make sure he's doing a switch into archers. And then I will do a range, one range only, into a blacksmith, and I will go for skirmishers, and that will counter his archers. And again, this is something you can always do, but I especially recommend it when you're playing against a much stronger economic civ. All right, a much economically stronger civ. All right, let's check it out. Yes. So right now my plan is to force the fight, and also how you want to go men-at-arms, or sorry, how you want to go for a skirm follow-up. You want to pull these guys off gold and put them to any resource. In this case, I have the deer. Let's use them. If not, I would have sent them back to make farms, or simply, to gather some wood. Alright, I'm going to save up for my double bit axe next. I'm going to make some few farms as well. And there it is. I immediately see the range, so now I'm confirmed that I will go for skirmishers. I lost track of his men-at-arms. I really want to find them again. Oh, he went back to my base, so I was keeping an eye on my mini map because I had no idea where he was. You guys know how I like to do that. I will go back because I will go for skirmishers. So let's go ahead and quick wall this, or at least, react. And we'll drop a gate here. So now at this level, you guys know about the gates, you know about the quick walls a little bit. So let's go ahead and utilize that. Alright, then we'll wall up here. And we're going to go for some skirmishes now. So let's get the range. I'm not sure where I want to put this range though. There we go. And now I've got my men-at-arms back and we'll be able to defend this no problem. So I'm going to hold off on my range. It's not a big deal because I will be doing the counter units. I don't need to get it right away. But I want to do it on the front eventually. Let's just try and trade off these men-at-arms first. So I'm going to do my range here. little bit defensive, I know, but right now I don't have the map control to get exactly where I want it, which is on this hill. All right, looks like I got a really good engagement. Fight downhill as much as possible. He takes the hill as well. Let's take the hill again. There we go, and I'm taking actually a decent fight there, and I ended up winning it. So this is exactly what happened, or what I wanted. And now I want to move out with my men-at-arms, see what I can do with them. But the important thing right now is that I'm switching into the range for skirmishers. That is the most important thing that's happening. Now let's get the blacksmith as well. Now for this build, you usually can go up with a little bit more on wood. Notice how I have 0 on gold. It's very important to adapt your build. If I was doing archers, I'd have more on gold. But right now, all I need is actually 50 gold to get fletching, and the rest all on food and wood. Notice how I'm walling up with one villager as well, walling up with the second one, making my blacksmith, and just getting my skirms ready. Alright, always, constantly making some farms as well, because it's very important to be able to spend your wood early. I talked about this in an episode, I think it was episode 8 or 7, to get your farms down as quickly as possible so that you can be able to actually click up to the next stage, turn that wood into food as fast as possible. Alright, so he is almost fully walled, I think, if not fully walled. Ooh, there's a hole, but I don't think it will do much. I could lane this farm. Let's do it. Yes, we get a farm. If you guys didn't know, farms that are on 0 HP can still be killed. That's what happened there. Okay, let's wall here. Alright, so if you guys saw what I did there, I actually checked for my holes, and right now I don't see his army, so I'm looking at my base in the new map. Alright, that's what I'm looking, in case he ever shows up. And I just looked for holes, so I sent my build out this way, and she found that it was still open. That's what I did there, and that's why I'm not getting caught out. Always checking for holes. Alright, and now I see his army at home, and this army I didn't care about. I was just buying some time with it, and now just getting my economy up and running. My next step is to go to Castle Age, so I'm going to be seeing a lot of farms, but I also want to get back onto that gold. So you don't want to ignore the gold forever, just because you're going for a few skirmishers. We want to get back on that gold now, and this is a good time to do it. Alright, that scout here is doing double range. He's going for a lot of archers. This is a really good time to have the skirmishers out. And let's get the wheelbarrow. At the same time, I'm going to be fully walling my map. So at this point, basically what's going on is that I'm securing my map at home. Notice how I'm playing purely defensive here even. Oh, by the way, this 1 HP scout, I can just easily scout the map and get extra points to scare my opponents. If you ever have a scout that you're not doing anything else with, I highly recommend you guys do that. It's super effective. So I'm gonna add my second range now. But as you can see, I played mostly defensive for the moment, and I've just taken, made a good build, had a really balanced economy, and now once I'm fully walled, or once I'm about to be fully walled, let's speed up the process here. I can actually move out with my skirmishers, which is the counter unit. Alright, so let's go ahead and move out. And at this point, I have to make another decision. So boys, I am going to be going up to the Castle Age in, the next couple minutes probably. And I have to make a decision. Do I stay on skirmishers? Do I do a tech switch? Do I go 1 TC push? Or do I go, regular boom? How do I want to approach a civ like Vikings who have such an insane eco bonus, getting free wheelbarrow and free handcart? So judging, by the map, I see he has forward gold that he is taking. I noticed that right now I already have a counter unit, and I noticed that I have a very safe map. I'm fully walled. So the truth is, I can actually do multiple things. I can boom, and I can also 1 TC push. Why? Because he does have that forward gold. And I can boom. Why? Because I have secured my map, and I'm fully walled, so I can easily just boom behind it. So the option is up to you, but my recommendation would be that the easiest way to kind of take away an eco advantage is to kind of pressure your opponent before the eco advantage kicks in. So in Feudal Age and early Castle Age, before that handcart, like multiple TC handcart economy really kicks in, is where I want to actually pressure my opponent. So for that reason, I'm going to go for 1 TC, although I can't stress it, you can do either. But let's go ahead and 1 TC, and I'll make use of my skirms now and try and take out his archers. Yes. So as far as the tech switch for Castle Age, I'm probably gonna stay on skirmishers, but I might actually switch into or add in some siege, and I might also add in some monks as well. So I might add in some siege and monks, but I'll stay as majority skirmishers. All right, so let's add a few more, and look at that. He has some skirmishers. All right, and we're talking about hit and run here. I can talk about this for a second. I want to hit the unit that's closest to me. If he's running away, I'm not gonna chase him. I'm gonna go ahead and attack him some more. Alright, and let's do one more build here. Notice how I stopped creating skirms. I don't need them. I want to go Castle Age. There we go. Hit and run. Oh, good flip from him. Hit and run. And instead of fighting or running away here, I'm simply going to let him chase me. This is idle time. This is really good. And at the same time, I'm scouting the map with my scout. If he gives me an archer, we'll take it. Alright, good stuff. And I'll click up the castle station now. Get the gold money upgrade like normal. And, well, I have a pretty reasonable economy. Let's get Horse Collar here. So normally in an archer build, I will not reseed these farms. However, since I'm going to go for some skirmishers, I'm going to get Horse Collar and then I'm going to reseed them because I will need the food. And I don't need the wood because I've already decided I will go for a 1TC Castle Age. Alright, so let's make some skirms to defend his archer push now. Let's get the archer armor. Very standard stuff. I can do this in every single one of my builds, regardless of what I'm going for. And now I just have to hope there's no hole. And there is a hole, guys. I did not check. I did not check if there was a hole. So we're going to have to defend with skirms. Let's do some damage control. Let's run back. Let's get some skirms. And then I'm going to have to kind of watch out here. Because that was a big mistake. So the best thing I can do now is to try and mass up some army and delay his push as much as possible. And then with my push, continue to do, you know, whatever damage I can. I'm going to try and mass up skirms. You don't want to waste them one by one at this point. You really want to mass them up until I have like 3 or 4. Right now I have 5. I can maybe engage this now. Yeah, I have 5. I can engage this. Alright, so that was my fault. I did not notice that there was a hole there. Oh, there's a low HP build. Oh, nice, we got it. Always click the villagers. Never know what you'll find. So that messes up my plan. Well, it slows down my plan. It doesn't mess it up though. I can still go for the 1TC. I still have my counter unit here. I have to check if he has a stable now because the natural counter. So, okay, this is actually something I can talk about. So, if you want to try and predict what your opponent's doing, you have to put yourself in his or her shoes. So, the natural counter to skirmishers is either mangonels or some stable unit like either some scouts or some knights. So right now I expect him to do one of those 2 counters because it's only natural that he finds a solution to my problem or to his problem, which is currently my skirmishers. So I expect him to either go for mangonels and for knights. What counters mangonels and knights? I think monks can deal with the knights quite effectively, and then I can just do my own siege to deal with his siege if he goes for that. I am going to go for a 1TC push, so I will probably go for a forward siege workshop now, as well as a forward monastery to go ahead and actually pressure him and cover my bases in terms of his counters. Alright. So he said he'll play on there because it's Pickle City, but he's going to play on for the video. I respect that. Hit and run with the skirms. If you can't micro, these skirms are not too important. It's more important to really focus on the 1TC push that we're going to execute. So let's send one villager forward. And he's actually calling the GG. Oh, he's actually calling the GG. Oh, this is very interesting. So a little bit of an early GG maybe, some could argue. But if you really think about what happened, I feel like it is a decent time to call GG, even though Vikings are a much better civ. Even with Vietnamese, probably the worst civ in the game, I'm still able to win. And not because I did any crazy micro, in fact, or like 0 mistakes. In fact, I had a mistake with the hole here. I was really just able to outsmart him, do a counter unit, and protect myself at home with the walls. So even the walls didn't pay off. Like I said, I had a hole. But just the fact that I was going for skirms, the counter unit, and I was thinking ahead and going for a forward here, which would counter his counter. I was able to actually close out the game relatively early. All right. So let's quickly recap what happened here. So in Feudal Age, we both whip men-at-arms, and Viking men-at-arms are slightly stronger. They get an extra 5 HP each. However, I'm still able to meet, kind of like trade evenly with the men-at-arms. I ended up winning the fight because he had less HP on the scout. But regardless if I win or lose that fight, as long as I trade men-at-arms, it's all I wanted. I then go ahead and switch into skirmishers. Why? Because I realized that a civ with a stronger economy, I cannot keep up with them doing the same thing. So I can't go archers if they're going archers, because then we have the same thing going on for us, but oh, he's got free wheelbarrow, he's going to get the castle age faster. So I did something else. I was able to get a lot of map control, I was able to kill a lot of his range units, and disturb his economy with this simple group of 8 skirmishers. Remember, if this was 8 archers instead, I would not have had the same results. In fact, I would argue that I would probably be in a losing position, because he would have been able to defend me here and then push out with a bigger army. I would have then had that hole and not be able to defend. So again, this game was won or lost based on the decision of what range units I make. This is how good this game is. Age of Empires is such a good game because of these little details that can make such a big difference. So just to quickly recap on my main point of today's video, if random civ 1v1 raid build can be very tricky, especially at the 1800, 1900 level, where some of the civs can be just, really hard to play if enemies don't have an eco bonus. If you are ever in a position where you have the weaker civ, I recommend you guys do something out of the box. I recommend you guys do maybe some all-in pushes, like full feudal, full scouts, maybe even a tower rush if you really want to, and really just try and gain an advantage in the early game, or at the very least, make the game different so you have a different dynamic, or at least a win condition. Definitely do not do the same thing as another civ who just does it better. So I hope you guys learned something from this episode. As always, drop a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the content. Also, any comment is very appreciated down below. If you have any questions, also ask them. I'm pretty active in the comment section. I answer as many questions as I can. So yeah, once again, DE content in the future, probably in like 1 week. But for now, a lot of this beginner to 2K guide is coming. So if you guys are excited for that, definitely stay tuned. That's it for me. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Peace.